President Trump announces up to $500 billion in private sector AI infrastructure investment. President Trump announced on Tuesday a major initiative involving billions of dollars in private sector investment aimed at building artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. However, the scale of the investment was met with skepticism from Elon Musk. At a White House briefing, Trump revealed that OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle plan to collaborate on a joint venture called Stargate. Joining the announcement were SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. President Trump stated, "What we want to do is keep this in the United States. China is a competitor, others are competitors. We want this investment here, and I'm going to help make it happen through emergency declarations. This is an emergency. We need to get this infrastructure built. They'll need a lot of electricity, and we'll make it easier for them to set up their own plants if needed." The companies involved are expected to commit $500 billion to Stargate over the next 4 years. Specific details of the partnership were not immediately disclosed. During the briefing, Ellison shared that 10 data centers are already under construction in Texas, with more planned for other states. Stargate's operations would begin with the Texas data centers before expanding nationwide. AI holds incredible promise for every American. Trump asserted that the venture would generate over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. Altman added, "I think this will be the most important project of this era." The executives also highlighted AI's potential in healthcare. "I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases cured at an unprecedented rate." While additional investors are anticipated to join the project, no further names were disclosed during the announcement. The initiative's ambitious scale drew a mixed response online. OpenAI announced the project on social media platform X, stating, "We will begin deploying $100 billion immediately." Musk replied skeptically, "They don't actually have the money." He added, "SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. I have that on good authority." Altman responded to Musk's claims on X, writing, "Wrong, as you surely know." In a pointed comment aimed at Musk, Altman invited him to visit one of the project's construction sites and added, "I realize what is great for the country isn't always optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you'll mostly put America first." On Monday, President Trump reaffirmed his commitment to ending the inflation nightmare by signing an executive order aimed at addressing the high cost of living in the United States. The order directs all executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief to Americans. The January 20th directive attributes the pandemic-era inflation surge, which has left many households financially strained, to several factors, including high federal spending under the Biden administration and increased costs from new regulations. It is critical to restore purchasing power to the American family and improve our quality of life, the executive order states. To achieve this, Trump is instructing executive branch agencies, including the Departments of Commerce, Health and Human Services, Labor, and Energy, to take measures aimed at reducing prices on essentials such as housing, healthcare, food, and fuel. The stakes are high, as U.S. voters have consistently ranked the economy and inflation as top concerns. However, economists remain divided on whether the order will have a significant impact on inflation. Trump's cost of living order fails to address the root causes of inflation, namely corporate profiteering and broken supply chains, said Lindsay Owens, executive director of the Groundwork Collaborative, a progressive economic think tank. This order is a talking point, not a plan. Research by economists like former Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke suggests that inflationary pressures in 2021 and 2022 were driven by supply chain disruptions and rising commodity prices, issues that are difficult for any president to control directly. Inflation trends and public sentiment. Inflation has cooled significantly since reaching a 40-year high in June 2022, but the Consumer Price Index remains above the Federal Reserve's target of a 2% annual rate. While price increases have slowed, a December survey by Bankrate found that over 40% of Americans remain pessimistic about their economic prospects due to inflation's lingering effects. Key focus areas: deregulation and housing costs. Trump's executive order identifies several areas for federal agencies to prioritize, including reducing federal regulations that the administration argues have increased the cost of living for American families. In sum, Unprecedented regulatory oppression from the Biden administration is estimated to have imposed almost $50,000 in costs on the average American household, the order claims, referencing research by University of Chicago economist Casey Mulligan. Mulligan's analysis suggests that Biden administration regulations could add about $47,000 in costs per household over time. He also estimates that fuel emission rules from the Obama and Biden administrations may increase vehicle costs by $6,000 each. Critics argue that deregulation alone will not solve long-standing structural issues, such as soaring healthcare costs and a chronic housing shortage. These problems, rooted in the nation's for-profit healthcare system and limited housing availability, have burdened Americans for decades. To address these challenges, Trump's order calls for federal agencies to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply, and to eliminate unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices that increase healthcare costs. Challenges in implementation. While these goals are ambitious, reducing housing costs is particularly challenging due to state and local laws, such as zoning restrictions and environmental regulations, which fall outside federal control. Similarly, lowering healthcare costs would require significant reforms in a system where Americans already spend more than any other developed nation. Despite these hurdles, the administration views the executive order as a critical step toward easing the financial burden on American families and restoring economic stability. In a move set to reignite California's contentious water debate, President Donald Trump has issued a directive aimed at redirecting more water from the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta to Southern California and San Joaquin Valley farms. Announced on Monday, this initiative seeks to overturn water regulations established under the Biden administration, which have been supported by urban water agencies and many Central Valley farmers. The memorandum directs the Secretaries of Commerce and Interior to craft a plan within 90 days to reroute Delta water, describing the effort as a response to desperate needs for reliable water supplies in southern regions of the state. Entitled, "Putting People Over Fish: Stopping Radical Environmentalism to Provide Water to Southern California," the directive calls for reinstating Trump-era 2019 rules that prioritize water allocation to human use over environmental protections. At the heart of the issue are operational guidelines for the Central Valley Project and State Water Project, two massive systems that transport water from Northern California rivers to farms and cities in the state's southern half. These systems have long been criticized for harming protected fish species like salmon and Delta smelt, leading to decades of legal and policy battles between environmentalists, farmers, tribes, and government agencies. The Biden-Newsom rules, finalized in December 2024, were developed over 3 years and aim to balance the needs of urban water users, agriculture, and environmental conservation. Trump's new directive challenges this framework, suggesting that these rules limit water supplies and waste valuable resources by allowing river water to flow into the ocean. Trump's move has sparked sharp divisions. Carla Nemeth, director of California's Department of Water Resources, criticized the proposal, warning that reverting to the 2019 regulations could harm both farms and urban communities. The Biden-Newsom rules were carefully designed to balance the needs of millions of Californians while protecting critical ecosystems, she said. Urban water districts and many Central Valley agriculture groups, including the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California and the Sacramento River Settlement Contractors, support the current rules. However, the Westlands Water District, representing a large portion of the San Joaquin Valley's agricultural interests, welcomed Trump's directive. "We are grateful to see water supply challenges elevated as a federal priority," said Allison Febo, the district's general manager. Environmental groups have condemned Trump's plan as ecologically harmful and factually flawed. Restore the Delta, a Stockton-based advocacy group, refuted Trump's claim that water flowing to the ocean is wasted, emphasizing its importance to the West Coast's largest estuary and the communities and industries it supports. John Rosenfield, science director for San Francisco Baykeeper, called the memo imprecise and misleading. It embeds numerous false premises and demonstrates a lack of understanding of California's water system, he said. Conservationists argue that policies like Trump's 2019 rules have already caused significant damage to ecosystems, citing the near collapse of species like the Delta smelt, Chinook salmon, and steelhead. Save California Salmon, an advocacy group representing tribal and fishing communities, blamed these regulations for exacerbating the state's salmon fishery collapse, which has been shut down since 2023. Trump's memo also links water management to wildfire preparedness, suggesting that more Delta water is needed for firefighting efforts in Southern California. However, local water agencies dispute this claim, noting that the region's reservoirs, including the massive Diamond Valley Reservoir, are near capacity. Officials clarified that recent fire hydrant failures, such as those during the Palisades fire, resulted from system design issues rather than water shortages. The ongoing conflict underscores the challenges of managing California's water resources amid competing demands. Sarah Wolf, a farmer in Fresno and Madera counties, emphasized the need for a balanced approach. "There's no question we need a solution that works for both water users and the environment," she said. Further complicating the debate, the federal listing of the longfin smelt as an endangered species in 2024 imposes additional legal constraints on water diversions. Jennifer Pierre, general manager of the state water contractors, warned that these protections would make reinstating the 2019 rules even more difficult. As California's water wars continue, Trump's directive sets the stage for renewed legal and political battles over the state's most critical resource. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more updates on this groundbreaking initiative.